Hey guys, we are back. Last episode we did this little bootstrap thing. It's really working out well. We're making a bunch of poles. We're making a bunch of other stuff. So this time around, we are going to work towards getting our finally getting our iron and copper plate production up, getting it modernized, getting it a bit more efficient, and getting a bit more of it. So let's go ahead and start by putting the stuff that we're carrying around down so that we have room. Because the next thing we're going to want to do is we're going to pull all of this up, because this is where we're putting this sucker. So let's get rid of all of this and go ahead and pick this up. So basically what we're going to do is we're going to, now what we've been doing in the past, we've been taking our slag and then crushing it to rock and then mineralizing it and then crystallizing it and then taking it out. A little bit of a process. I want to say it's convoluted, and I wish I could say that the new process is going to be less convoluted, but it is not. It is also a bit on the convoluted side, but it is somewhat more efficient, and it is certainly more modern in the scheme of things with this game. So here's, so I'm hoping, I looked at the numbers and stuff, and it looks like we're going to get far more copper and iron out of this than what we were getting. So once we get this all picked up, I'll show you what we got to do here. Alright, so let's take this down here, and we will get rid of the slag that we picked up, because we don't need the slag. We don't need the loose stone. We don't need the crust or the minerals right now. We don't need the lab. We don't need the wood. We don't need the stuff for it. Alright, so that's all stuff we do not need. So let's pick this other stuff up and go on up here and see what we got going. Alright, so in order to make iron plates, you have to do one of two things. The way we've been doing it, or you have to make them from, what is it? Where's our iron plates at? It's iron, da 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 da. You have to either make it the way we've been making it, or you have to make it from iron ore, right? There it is. No, that's okay. Fine. So it's the old-fashioned way. Alright, iron plates. So to craft iron plates, you have to either use crushed sapphirite or iron ore or molten iron to make it, alright? So how do we get to iron ore? Well, if we have sapphirite and we have one of these crushers, we can make slag, iron ore, and copper ore. And that works pretty good. But we can also make crushed sapphirite and things like that, and we can do it that way. Okay? And that's what we're going to do. Now, how do we get from that to that? Well, we have to do... Where is it? There it is. Alright, so crushed sapphirite comes from sapphirite, right? So how do we make sapphirite? Well, we can make sapphirite with mineral sludge in our crystallizer. So how do we make mineral sludge? We make mineral sludge by filtering it with frames, and charcoal frames and purified water, and from slag slurry. Now, how do we get slag slurry? We get slag slurry from slag, which we have plenty of, and sulfuric acid. So we have to make sulfuric acid. Well, sulfuric acid can be made a few ways. The way we're going to make it, we're not going to do the iron plate, sulfur, and purified water, because we're trying to get iron plates. So we're going to do hydrogen sulfide gas and oxygen, because we're making oxygen in abundance up here, and it's a waste product for us right now from our electrolyzing. That means we need hydrogen sulfide gas. So how do we make hydrogen sulfide gas? Well, we can take sulfur and hydrogen and make hydrogen sulfide gas. And again, hydrogen is one of the things that we are producing in abundance, just as a waste product. Now we have to make sulfur. So sulfur can be made with hydrogen sulfide gas and oxygen gas. Well, we already are making actually some hydrogen sulfide gas, because we're making it over here in our process of making sand. It's all the way down here at the very beginning. One of the things we're making is hydrogen sulfide gas. But we're not making a lot of it. We need a lot more down here. So we're going to set up a cycle, because one of the things we're going to get out of this cycle as a byproduct is acid and waste acid, and we're going to have to recycle that, and that's actually going to give us sulfur. So once we've got this cycle going, it's a self-feeding cycle. We just need to get it started. So the first thing we need to do is we need to make ourselves some sulfur, and we can do that with hydrogen sulfide gas and oxygen in a chemical plant. So let's grab a chemical plant and plop her down. Alright, and then we're going to get chest and an inserter, and we're going to tell this to make, nope, not that one. Not that one. This one. Here it is. So under petrochemical refining, sulfur, right? So now we have to bring in these two products. So all we got to do is run up to here with this. There's one. And then the other one, got to get the right. Get rid of this stack. And can we stick that right in there and come over here? Yes, we can. Boom, boom, boom. There we go. And that'll get us started. Now we just need for these to fill up. Now we're not getting enough oxygen because we are burning off the rest of our oxygen. So what we're going to do, we're going to pull this up, and we're just going to let this run. It's going to slow this down, but that's okay. We're wanting the sulfur, okay? So we're going to let that run. And while we let that run, let's go over here and start building our system, all right? So, like I said, we are going to need to make various gases and stuff to process them on down the line. So the first thing we're going to do is we are going to put down a chemical plant. And we'll put it down because I want to give myself working room up here. I know I'm going to need space up here. I know I'm going to need space over here. But it's the beginning of our process, and I want to kind of not hit this. So let's go 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, maybe 6 or 7. All right, so how about maybe right there? ish, I guess. Okay, so we're going to tell this that we want to make sulfur dioxide gas, right? Which is going to come from our sulfur and our oxygen. All right, so the oxygen is going to come up from here, and we're going to put sulfur into this. That's why we're making sulfur over here. All right. So then we're going to take that sulfur dioxide gas, and we're going to turn that into acid. And in order to do that, we need another chemical plant. And that's going to give us sulfuric acid. So we take the sulfur dioxide gas, and we take pure water. Well, we're not making the pure water yet. I want to make 2 spaces for this. Sorry about that, guys. Because I need to get a pipe to come down and in. So we're not making the purified water yet, but it's going to come in here. This is going to come across here, right? So there we got that part of it. We got to make the water, but we're gonna get to the water because when we do the refining and the processing, one of the things it's going to do is give us purified water that we're going to get out of the waste that we're coming in. All right, so that's going to give us our sulfuric acid. And like I said, we can take that sulfuric acid and combine it with our slag, and that's going to give us slag slurry, right? So if we, where is it? Slag slurry, right? So if we combine sulfuric acid and slag, going to give us slag slurry out. So we have to put slag into this. So we can go, well, I want to save this space because this is going to come up here. I don't need anything below it. Let's do this. Let's come over here and take one of these and bring it down there. How's that? That's going to do that. That'll give us our slag slurry. Then we can take our slag slurry and we can turn it into, let's see, let's go here. I'm trying to keep them in line. Then we can take our slag slurry and turn it into mineral sludge, but we have to have those filter frames, right? So we need the filter frames, we need slag slurry, and we need purified water. And again, it's up on the top, so that's why I want to use the top of this to be able to move that stuff in. So let's connect this. So we're going to come out with our slag slurry, right? And that's going to come into here and be turned into our mineral sludge. But we need these filters. So like I said, the filters are simply filter frames filled with charcoal, right? And then this is going to give us filter frames when it's done. So if we do this, right, and we put filter frames, charcoal, we tell it to make charcoal frames, and we give it blank ones, right? Now all we need to do is bring charcoal in, which is why I want it to be up here near here. Because now we can do that. We can do that. And we can do that. Now we got charcoal coming in there, and the filter frames will go in here, be used, come back out, and spit back out. Now what if we take the ones we've already made and just stick them there for now? All right, that gets us out of our hair. So now that's going to give us the filter frames, which we're just going to continually recycle. It's going to give us our mineral sludge, and it's going to give us sulfuric wastewater. All right, well, the mineral sludge is what we're going to use, right? So we've got to get rid of sulfuric wastewater. So what can we do with sulfuric wastewater? Well, let's get down here and look and see what we can do with sulfuric wastewater. Or is it up here? I think it's... sulfuric wastewater, right? What can we do with it? Well, we can take that and we can take it into a hydro plant. And that's going to give us mineralized water, purified water, and sulfur. Or a bunch of other formulas. But this is the one we're going to look at for right now. Now, if you remember, mineralized water is how we were making iron and copper before. So we can take that as a waste product and turn that into iron and copper. Then that's going to give us the sulfur, and it's going to give us the purified water. And if you remember, we got to put purified water back to the beginning of the process, and we're going to put sulfur back to the beginning of the process. So let us grab a hydro plant. Okay, and we're going to, now the hydro plant's got one input and two outputs, right? So we're going to come up here and let's put it, I don't know, somewhere, somewhere there, I guess. If we have to, we can move it, right? So then we're going to tell this to process our sulfuric water, our sulfuric wastewater, right? And that's going to give us purified water, and it's going to give us our mineralized water, just for the waste product from this, right? So we're actually going to use that waste product, turn it into something useful, and put it back. All right. So the first thing we got to do is we got to bring this back over here, and we're going to put it in here, and we're going to put it in there, right? So let's get this back over here. How about if we do this? Okay, how far can we go? Go here, 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 and here. How's that look? And then if we do this, this, and this, that gives us that one, right? So that's going to give us our purified water all the way back, right? Okay. What else do we got coming out of here? We got sulfur coming out of here. And that we need for here, right? So let us put it in there. Now, these basic underground belts only go 2 spaces, right? So we can't put it here. We got to put it up here. Okay. Keep that in mind. And we have the ability to make yellow ones, but we're not making yellow ones yet, so we'll just use that. We've got it. It's not going to kill us. We don't really have the need to be able to jump more than that right now, so we're okay. All right, so that takes all of that stuff and puts it back into the system. It's just going to be one big loop. Now this over here, if you guys remember, this was mineralized water. If we take the mineralized water, right, we can take that and we can make our 2 ores with it, right? So then from there, that's going to give us an output. And that output is going to be our 2 ores, right? So if we tell that, let's go right, filter, saprolite, and then the other one will come out there. So now we can come out of both of those. Inserters, crushers, right? That's going to give us our crushers. Okay, looks like we're running out of room. Crush that. Crush that. Come out of both of them. And make a turn. Alright, let's try something here. Try something. How about if we do that, right? And then we do this. And we tell it to go left. Stone. Then all of the minerals going to come out here. All of the minerals going to come out here. We'll be able to pick the stone off and use it someplace else. And then we can go here, and we can go right. Crush saphirite, and then that's going to give us our saphirite and our saturite. I think is what they are, aren't they? I don't know. The names they've used in this make it a pain in the ass. Alright, we need stone. Do we have... I think we've got... Down here we have crushed stone that we can use for stone, right? Yes. Okay, so we need to make some stone. 5, 10, 15, 20. There we go. That should be more than enough. And then that we can make, yeah, we can make one of those. Because we need 2 of them. Had 1 of them. Right? So there's that, and then that's going to give us our outputs. Now we just need fuel. So why don't we do this? Why don't we, since this will only reach 2, do that, and do that, right? And that will give us the 2 that we need to jump across there. That'll go into there. That'll come out there and go into chest. That just leaves us that we have to do something with our stone. And we'll do something with it. We'll route it somewhere. Because we've got other crushers coming into the mix that are going to also end up making stone too. Alright, so that's all of our waste, right? So far anyway. Which is going to basically give us our mineral sludge. Now mineral sludge is what we're going to use to make both of those other materials. So let us put 1 here and 1 here, and we're going to split this. So 1 is going to be crystallizing the saphirite ore, and the other one is going to be crystallizing the striatite ore. Okay? And if we put both of those up there, we can just run a pipe to them. Alright, so at that point, we are pretty much back to the same sort of crushing and this and that, the other that we were doing before. But what I want to try and do is I want to try and use up some of this new technology. So let's take that out of there, right? And we're going to tell this to do crush this and crush this. Alright, and that's going to give us, of course, stone and right? So we're going to want to have to take out of both of these, and then we're going to have to separate it again. And since we don't have folder inserters, we're just going to do it this way. And we're just going to go right or left. That's right. Stone. Yeah. Copy it. Paste it. Alright. And then we can join these up over here at some point. They're in line. So let's do 1 and like that. Alright. And then that's going to give us that ore and that ore. And then we can take those 2 ores Now this is where it gets fun, because this is a more efficient way of doing this. We take this big sucker, we'll put one down, and these are ore sorting facilities. And what is really cool about these is they will take that saturite ore and that striatate ore and sort it, and it will give us more slag, which we can put back in the system, and it'll give us pure copper and iron ore. So I'll have one do copper ore, or a striatite, and one do stratorite, or saphirite, right? And I think I picked the right ones for the right ones. Yep, there we go. Okay. But now if you notice, it's going to give us both copper and iron at different amounts. So we're going to want to take both of them and you know, cross one to the other and vice versa. So what if we do this? What if we go up here to the top, because we're trying to save as much space as possible, and we go one there, right? One there, okay? And then we need, yep, we need more. 5, 10. And while we're at it, let's give ourselves some more, some more belts. All right, so now, if we do this, right? What we're gonna get out of here is we're gonna get the ores and we're gonna get the crust, we're gonna get the slag. Now the slag is being used up here. So we want to return it to that system. So if we left this one and we say slag, and we write this one and we say slag, right? We can take another one of these, put it here. There you go, there's our slag. We can then take our slag up here, across here. Oops, one too close. And put that back in our system. So now our slag waste is going back into our system, right? So we got our slag coming up there. Now we got our stone coming across here. And we got our stone waste, right? And we can turn around and do something with that stone waste. We'll figure out what we want to do it with it at some point. But the stone waste there and the stone waste up here, we can use them to make more soil, or we can use them for something else. So those will be sent somewhere. I haven't decided where yet. We'll probably just send them to a factory right now and make them into sand or something. I don't know. Or stone. Because we do need stone for down here. So maybe we'll make them into stone and bring it down there. But anyway, so that leaves us with both of our ores coming out, right? So then if we take that and we do another, let's do right, and we'll tell right one to be iron, right? So then the iron's going to come down here, because we're kind of keeping consistent with what used to make iron and what used to make copper. We're gonna try and keep the copper and the iron kind of consistent as best as we canist. So we're gonna come down so that we're past this and we can sit these down. The next thing we're going to put down is we are going to put down 2 blast furnaces, one for each. So we'll bring this down some so that we can work around it, because we're going to need to put in inserters. So we got a blast furnace for copper and a blast furnace for iron, or vice versa rather. right? So then we tell them to make iron ingots. We tell them to make copper ingots, and they're going to take that ore and turn it into ingots. Okay. The only other thing they need is they need fuel. So if we do that, and we do one more of these, and we come over here, and we borrow our charcoal, because we're certainly making plenty. Alright, so that's going to give us that. Now, that's going to give us ingots. So then we can take those ingots, and we can put them in an induction furnace. Alright, and that induction furnace will connect to casting machine. And that casting machine will turn around and spit out plates. Right? So we go from there to there, there to there. And that one we're going to do copper, molten copper. That we're going to do molten iron. This we're going to do copper plates. This we're going to do iron plates. Now, we could put just one of those little stone furnaces down here and smelt this into plates and be done with it, and it would be the same efficiency as running it through this with regards to how much iron we're getting out versus how much ore we're putting in. But I wanted to use these so that we can look at the technology later and maybe add some more stuff to it. Plus, I like the animations. They're kind of cool. So now all we have to do is we got to hook this stuff up to power. Right? We got to get this stuff powered. And then we got to get our fluids running. So here, 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 can't walk through pipes. There, one up there for that one. Here, 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 and here, and then one here ought to connect everything just about. Oh, no, we need one more there, I guess. Right, so there it is. Everything's connected. So we're all set and ready. Now we just need our fluids. Now by now, because we've been farting around with this for so long, we should be able to go over here. Yep, and we got 101, 111, excuse me, sulfur. So now we can get rid of this. We can put our oxygen tanks back, or our oxygen stacks back, so that will take care of all of that stuff. All right, because we don't need that anymore. And we can come over here and we can give this a bunch of sulfur. That'll get that started. Now we just need to bring oxygen down. Now, let's see. Oxygen is the other one. Oxygen is red in this game. Yeah, oxygen is red in this game. So it's these two right here. Now, I'm going to get rid of one of them. And what I'm going to use, if you remember, we did overflow valves and the top-up valves. We did all these valves. So if you look, the top-up valve allows flow if the output side is below 80%. The other one is allow flow if the input side is above 80%. So if we take this one and we put it there, and then we put it into a stack, it's only going to do the top 20% of whatever's in this pipe. So we can use the rest of it to do what we need to do down here. The other thing we are going to do is we are going to get rid of this hydrogen as well. Because one of the things we need down here oxygen. All right. So we're going to come across with oxygen. But we also need hydrogen. All right. And the reason we need hydrogen is, remember, we need purified water. So we come across here. There's our hydrogen. We're going to do the same thing with an overflow valve. We're going to take this out. We're going to put an overflow valve in there so that it only burns it if we got enough in the pipes, right? So then that's going to allow us to have oxygen gas and hydrogen gas flowing into these pipes to some extent. It's not going to be a lot, but it's going to be some. I don't think we're burning any up there. No, we're just burning it down here. Now we're not making any more because of the fact that we're not using a lot of slag. But once this gets started, we'll be good to go. All right. So now we need to come down here with the oxygen. And we're just gonna pipe the rest of that. We need more pipes. We are out of bricks. Okay, so that's going to give us everything we need to start this process, with the exception of purified water to get the system started. We don't have any purified water to get the system started. We'll be making some, but we gotta have our initial start. So if we take a chemical plant, right, and let's put it here. Let's put it here. Let's put it there. Then we can take a pipe and we can go here and a pipe here. And what do oxygen and hydrogen make? Water. Pure water. Right? So now we can make water. And we can come down here, tap into this, tap into here, and start filling our system with water. Now, we don't have enough oxygen yet to do it because we're not making enough oxygen to do it. But as soon as we start using up some of this slag and they start working again, right, we will start getting some of that. Now we can take this slag and we can put it into our system. A little at a time in order to keep things going, because now it will start to suck all of that up. Right? Should anyway. So that should be... Oh! Look, they're backwards. They're backwards. That's why it's not making water. See, dummy? I knew I wasn't too smart. You guys probably saw that and let me do it anyway. Alright. Fine. So, if we're making water, we need that to go there. Alright. Put that in there. And we need oxygen to come over to that one. Doofus. There we go. Now, if we put power to it. Oh, look, now it's making water. So now we got water coming in. And the water is going to make, or the sulfur and the oxygen gas is going to make sulfur dioxide. Sulfur dioxide and pure water is going to make sulfuric acid. Sulfuric acid and slag, and we can give it some of this slag, is going to make slag slurry. Slag slurry is going to come down here, and that's going to make our mineral sludge, and it's going to make our frames, and it's going to use frames, and it's going to give us our sulfuric waste. So the frames will just go back and forth here, and as it's needed, and we put what, 10 in there total, so that should be enough to go back and forth. We got our charcoal for that. Our sulfuric waste is going to come over here, going to give us sulfur. It's going to give us mineralized water, and it's going to give us purified water. Purified water is going to go back into the system. Now, one of the things I think I'm going to do, let's do something here. Let's put a top-up valve, which means when this system is less than 80% is the only time this is going to make water for the system. So then we don't fill the system up and it just not go anywhere. This way, it'll be able to insert from here into the system first, and then this will make if it needs to. So then that's going to crystallize that. That's going to come out. It's going to be crushed. Excuse me, why are we not... Okay, mineralized water. We're not... Got enough of it yet? Is that the deal? Oh. Mineralized water. Okay, we got 140. We need... How much? 200. Okay. 160, 200. So it's slowly but surely getting there. And then that's going to pump those out to there. And then that's going to make all of that. We're just going to have to get rid of the stone. And then that's all good. So there's our waste mineral loop. And then here's our main mineral loop. So it comes here. It's turned into saphirite ore. It's turned into saturite ore. And then those get out. They're crushed. And then they come out. And... wonder if... Alright, let's do this. Let's put the belt here and the belt there like that, and then that's going to fill both sides of the belt so it won't fill up. Alright, and then for now, we're just going to put a chest here. And we'll just hand collect that crushed stone for now, until I build a spot to just take the little bit that's there, because we're not going to get metric crap ton of crushed stone out of this system, but it's just enough to get it out of our way. So then that's going to take, and it's going to come down here, it's going to be crushed. And as you can see, we're already getting our slag back, which is going back into the system. So we're getting kind of some of what we used back. And then down here, we're getting our copper and we're getting our iron. And in a second, that should turn into... Okay, we need 24 of them. And then that's going to turn... But we already got some coming. So that's going to turn it into bars. The bars are going to go into here. This is going to melt it. And then it's going to kick it out, and it's going to be plates. So we are now making plates. Yay! So let's grab this, and let's stuff what we can into the system. Oops. Just to get rid of it. And not only just to get rid of it, but also to get it processed. So there we go. So now it'll put them in there. Once it gets 12, it'll melt them, and then that'll spit them out, and it'll make them into plates. Now what I think I'm going to do to help this along is to add there. Right? Now why are you not running yet? Molten copper. Iron ingots to copper ore, or to molten copper. And then we want molten copper That's weird because that was an input too. Now it's working though. So spin it around, the input wasn't working? Huh. Weird. Well, it's certainly working now. Now we're getting it. Now we're getting copper. Alright? So there it is, guys. I know it was a little convoluted, but hopefully this should start to give us considerably more metal than what we were before. What we're going to do up here, just to keep things going, is we're going to put in a balancer. And we might end up having to snag some of this off of here into a chest or something just to keep this flowing. We'll see. We'll have to figure out something to do with the sulfur. Something we want to do with it. In order to keep it from building up too much. Because if this builds up and backs up, then this stops working, then the system stops working. So the whole point of these feedback loops of using things is in order to give it a means of just continual perpetual motion, as it were. But anyway, there it is, guys. I'll probably go in and clean it up. We're really still not using much power. We will see how much this makes. I may make a second one of these. We're going to figure out what the ratios are in here so that they're a little more efficient. And we'll go from there. But we've got enough space that we can certainly make another set of this system down here. We've got plenty of slag coming in that we can do it with. And now we'll have the iron and the copper to be able to build with. I mean, already we're up to 100, iron plates, and it would have taken forever before, and 100 copper plates. So yeah, we're cooking along with gas. All right, guys, that's it. I will talk to you in the next episode. Oh, wait, before we do that, let's look at our technology. Oh, we only got one researched. What do we want? What do we want? What do we want? What do we want? That's solder casting, which we've already got up there. I don't know. We'll think about it. We got time because we got to rebuild our lab now. That we've got got a better iron and copper source. We got to rebuild a lab so that we can start researching again. All right, guys. You take care, and I will talk to you later. Bye.